today we're just going to do a director's commentary, talking you through our final cut and why we made the decisions that we did when editing the main video together. So we're going to play the video and talk you through it as we go along. So the first shot is a low angle shot of all the teens together. They come together to create the white teeth teens that are suggested in the title of the song. It's just a shot to introduce the theme, which is teen culture, and give an insight into the characters that are going to be in the video.
We wouldn't be seen dead here in the day.
In this shot, she blinks on times the beat, which is good because she also does this in another shot later on, where we have the same sort of thing repeated with the blinks in time. And also, it sort of introduces her as the main artist because it's the first shot we get of her on her own individually, and we see that she's obviously sunk in the bath, and the audience questions sort of who she is and why she's like that.
Here we have a tracking shot of all of the other teens, or the girl ones, without the main artist, to show that they're friends without her as well, which starts introducing the narrative into the music video. And it also gives like a nice urban location behind them, because this is like the main theme of the song and the video in general.
Guess you're lucky that it's dark now.
Here we used a close-up shot of one of the white teeth teens, and like just to start introducing like more of the characters on their own to the audience. And we've also like used orangey lighting that we've like kept throughout, that we've used in like our other products like the magazine and digipack.
Also on this part of the song it says, I bet you're lucky that it's dark now, hence why we chose this shot, because it's dark in the background just to represent the lyrics.
And if I like it, then we'll stay. Impress the empress, take your shot now.
Again, we used also back there a lot of urban locations, so the song focuses on what teens do in their everyday life. So we wanted to create a realistic representation by using realistic settings to show what they do and give an insight into their lives.
The lip syncing in this shot is on time with the music, so when the music says them words, she then mouths them words. She's also wearing red lipstick, and this really brings out the lip syncing and what she's saying, and also her makeup is like really nice and
So it's quite bold and quite poignant.
Yeah, and it also kind of the idea of voyeurism as well, and creating that image of her being someone that audience will be attracted to, or young audiences will want to idolise and be like.
And again, we have the cloud backgrounds, which again is quite abstract, black and white, which is a recurring theme again.
We got the glow in the nose. White teeth teens are out.
Again, as well, we continued at this part to show the close-ups of the teens on their own to introduce the characters and who's going to be in the video.
White teeth.
Here we used a vertical pan, and then also to show like a low angle shot of these two white teeth teens, and like showing how they're like superior. And there's also close framing as well to like reinforce that message
Of like not being able to be part of the group as well. The distance between the audience and them.
Teens are I know you love them when the heavens start to drop. I like your reckoning.
Throughout the video, the teens are shown with close proximity as well, and that's again to reinforce this close relationship, especially when the artist, Faith, isn't actually in the shot. It shows that they're closer without her, basically, and they're not really affected when she's not in the group.
Here we used loads of different shots of boy teenagers, because we wanted to use a mix of genders just so it opens up to a wider audience. We used the location of London because it represents our genre of indie pop, quite urban areas like side streets of London, etc.
We had the shots of the cars to make again it more abstract and again shows sort of an urban city, and also it was used as like filler shots for like moments in the music where we didn't want to put like all the teens in it again, so we had like shots of different.
Yeah, so it didn't get
things to make it
repetitive.
more interesting.
If you want, we'll help tonight. Just spill the seams. Give the bruises all a gift. Picture of
Again, with the idea of using lyrics for the storyline and the aesthetics in the music video, we have the cloud as the backgrounds to show that she's kind of a bit lost where she is. She doesn't really know where she belongs. She's deciding whether to be with these friends or not. So the cloud backgrounds kind of symbolises that. The lyrics also say you get the picture of your dreams, just like it relates to each other, correlates quite well.
dreams. I will smile at them.
In this shot, we used the background of the tapestry with Faith lip sync just to give like a different background other than the white clouds, and then it also, once again, like we've used this same location for some images in our digipack, so like the video and our digipack relates.
Notes from my admirers for the dashboard, just the same. Glow in the rose.
We also wanted to use the skateboarding shots because it adds a bit of movement and variety in the shots, and adds something interesting for the audience to watch.
White teeth, teens
Here we start to introduce the Holly powder. This is the first shot we have with the Holly powder in it. At this point in the song it's quite slow, so we use the slow motion effect to slow it up and make the Holly powder more clear, and also it looks quite cool and aesthetically pleasing.
White teeth, teens are I know you love them when the hair can stop.
In these three shots that just appeared, the acting of the characters were very fast movementy. They were laughing just to give the look a very upbeat and happy feeling. This shot in particular was used in reverse because it worked more well with the beat of the song, and it's just nice to see all the friends in close proximity together to show their close bond.
They're also overlooking onto the skyline, and you can't really see it in this shot, but London's in the distance, and this kind of, obviously the urban vibe again, this kind of looking out, looking onto the city.
Here, when Faith looks towards the to her left, when Faith looks to her left, one of our characters then looks to his left, which shows them like looking at each other, and it looks quite cool, and it's nice how that transition works.
Yeah,
It fits together.
keep the continuity. In that shot particular, we also reversed it because we thought it fit well to the beat of the music, and that's what we did. We tried to sustain throughout the video there. The on-screen action fit well with the beat, obviously the cuts on the beat of the music, and the movement also on the
And
beat of the music.
also the lyrics there says up for it, so when this artist sings it, the skateboard also goes up, so it just matches well.
It's also a good like filler shot, like visually pleasing, a bit of like movement as well, as Robin said earlier with the skateboards.
Again, there with the blinking, like Megan said, that we kept the blinking on time. That was continuity throughout. And at this point of the song is the bridge, so it's when the song starts to slow down, and that's where we aim to bring the narrative in, the more narrative aspects, and make it clear what we tried to start throughout the video, now kind of make it more clear to the audience what we're talking
Yeah,
about in the
and
song.
as the song slows down, so does the pace of the editing, so it works well together. And also, as I dissolve into the bath, the music in the background becomes a bit more muffled, so it kind of represents what she would be hearing from under the bath. You know, it's trying to represent that.
I let you in on something big. I am not a white teeth teen. I tried to join.
In this shot as well, we've got the three teens together and then Faith's on the left, and it shows her being left out, and it kind of shows. Before in the video we haven't really shown any shots of them together, so now we're starting to show this relationship and the breakdown of the relationship.
It's also with the lyrics as well. The lyrics are not. What was it?
Tried to join but never did.
Like so, yeah. Like we're trying to show that in the video from the lyrics.
but never did. The way they are, the way they see. It's something else, it's in.
At this point, we start to introduce new colours, so it's much lighter than the obviously the scenes before. And we've done this purposefully so that we can show that now she's sort of realising who she is and she's not part of this group, and they're becoming more lighter because they don't sort of have the burden of her sort of feeling down and stuff like that. So that's what these colours are now trying to show, that she's much happier. Now she's obviously not trying to
Just like
fit
realise what's
into her this sort
going
of
on.
white tee.
And we also, with the costumes and the mise en scene, we tried to keep them all together and linked together so it all fit well and made them more a kind of idea of unity and being one group of friends.
The blood, the walls blinking like the lights in the under.
You can constantly see in this like shots of our artist obviously not looking included, and this starts to really like sort out the storyline and like show what it's supposed to be saying, that she's never really fit into this group, but she's been trying to pretend to herself she has, and all these shots for her sort of realising this and becoming more her own person.
And also with the costumes, there's different costume change just to keep it interesting and appealing for the audience to watch.
We also wanted to reinforce this relationship by keeping Faith to the left-hand side where they're all together and closer together. Faith on her own, looking on, kind of wanting to be part of it, but not being part of it.
Past where we once lived, and do nothing love it.
In this shot, she sort of like looks back, like it sort of seems that she's looking back, like that. We've just had the shot of the three teens like laughing all together, and then she like just looks away from it as it fades into her. So it sort of looks like she's looking back on like what she used to have and like what she has now.
I feel like the dark lighting as well also represents like how she's feeling.
Sombre and sad, but it's also still quite light to show the realisation of what she actually wants. She knows what she wants to do.
Here we've used like orange colours where it says glow, and this looks really good as it says glow and orange colours because it links the words and the
Yeah, it's like a repeated motif.
effect together.
So there we used a pan across, so we sped it up, didn't we? So in this shot we aimed to then begin to conclude the narrative. By panning we showed the three teens that have been seen previously in the video talking, having fun, laughing, and then it's nice to show their individual facial expressions as well. And then as it pans to the left and then reveals Faith actually sitting on the bench being discluded, it's a nice close-up shot to really bring attention to her facial expression and how she's feeling at this time in the video.
Then at the end here, this is the final shot. Obviously, it's nice how she walks off with them originally and then she splits and goes her own separate ways. It sort of shows that she's finally like breaking from them and like she was never really part of them and she's going her own way and doing her own thing now.
And we purposely made it so the fact that they didn't look to check whether she was still with them or had gone the other way, it shows they never really cared and she wasn't supposed to be there or didn't feel like she belonged there.
It's also a nice like visual metaphor of the relationship and a good image just to end the video on and show the message of the video and what's happened.
And it brings the narrative to a close.
I also think it's a good location, like it's quite like wide and vast, and so like showing the separation.
And kind of highlights Faith when she's on her own in that massive location, just her being on her own. So yeah, that was our video, a rundown of our decisions and why we did them. Yeah, thanks.